Today is the start of Women's History Month, where we recognize amazing accomplishments of strong, determined women. So let's dive into the history, or her story of this month.
The month-long commemoration started with Women's History Day in 1978, organized by the School District of Sonoma, California in 1980. The National Women's History Alliance championed for the holiday to be observed as a national week. This was backed by President Jimmy Carter, who issued the first proclamation declaring the week of March 8th as National Women's History Week.
The following year, Congress forwarded a resolution establishing a national observance. 6 years later, the expansion of the event to the whole month of March was successfully petitioned by the National Women's History Project. One key provision, though, that's still in limbo for women today is the Equal Rights Amendment. Dr. Travis Braywood, professor over at Texas A&M University, Kingsville, joins us live. It's good to see you, Dr. Braywood. It's been a while since we've had you on, so it's good to visit with you, get your mindset. This is in your wheelhouse. You're very familiar with the ERA.
Yeah, it's an effort back in the 1970s, failed effort to try and get a proposed constitutional amendment to guarantee the protection on the basis of sex, trying preventing both the states and the federal government to guarantee that protection. Of course, ultimately, it was not ratified by the requisite number of states.
So am I accurate when I say that women do not have equal rights under the Constitution?
Well, that was actually one of the arguments in favor by some of the people that wanted to oppose this, was that, well, you technically don't need it because it's already guaranteed under the 14th Amendment's equal protection guarantees, at least in some form, or that there's other laws that have been passed in the interim and before then that guarantee protection, such as the Equal Pay Act, Family Medical Leave Act, things like that.
And also there was some discussion over the use of just the phrasing sex discrimination. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly. Some of the arguments out in favor of this would say that, well, at the time there were several laws that actually favored women in terms of treatment under the law. The other argument became that this would guarantee access to abortion right, even though the text of the proposed amendment was only 3 sections long and it never mentions abortion or privacy.
And that's one of the things that comes down to definition and what those key words mean.
Exactly, yeah. So since the language itself just mentioned sex, the concern was that one day a future court would imbue it with more meaning than it actually contained.
So where do we go from here? What moves can be made, or how do we get the discussion going?
So at the time, there was actually really broad support, but as some public opposition began to swell, some states rescinded their approval. We have seen 2 states, Nevada, Virginia, they actually said, we want this still. And this is recently, within the past few years. But since it did not get the requisite number of states and there was an expiration date, it means we have to start the whole process over again, getting bipartisan support out of Congress, which that never happens. So.
Especially nowadays, too. Dr. Braywood, we appreciate your insight. As always, thank you for being with us this morning.